Alright, guess where we're back again. This is the tier list, so here we go again. But you know what? This is just based on Battlefront heroes. Battlefront 2 heroes, to be specific. We've got blasters, we got sabers, we got rolling ball droids, and overall, I think this is going to be a interesting list because I want to do one now, and then I think I want to do one once I start to master all the heroes. And I've got most of them down. There's only a couple that I don't really play ever, and I should probably play them because I can't rank them based on the fact that I haven't played them enough. But I do know what all their abilities are. I have played against them all before, played against maxed versions of these heroes all before, so I would say that I've got a fair understanding of kind of where they would sit, in my opinion. Yes, those are my favorites. I'm obviously not good at all of these heroes. It take hundreds and hundreds of hours to get good at each one individually, and that's just something I haven't done. But seeing other players play them, based on how toxic or powerful they are, really will help influence my decisions on whether they rank higher or not. So, without further ado, let's get started. Let's take a look at these lists. Awesome, good, fine, bad, horrible. I'm not a fan of this list. I would just rather do it like, S, A, wait, can I type, please? There we go. S, A, and then we got B, C, oops, that's a V, I can type, and then we got D. And I don't think there's any hero on, I don't think there's any hero that's horrible on here. And I don't think there's any hero that's like beyond the rest of them. Like it just isn't in a league beyond itself. There is one hero that I think is probably S like plus tier if there was an extra one, but I'll just put them at the top because we are ranking these all in relation to how they would rank against each other and against in certain situations, how they are in HVV, how they are in Supremacy, Galactic Assault, just all around. Plus, whether I think that they're the best or not, because my opinion does actually matter in this since it is my tier list. So let's go ahead and start. So first off, we got BB-8. BB-8 is a fantastic hero. I would probably put BB-8 in S. We're starting off with an S tier placement. And I say that because I never used to play BB-8 because I would always play Republic Supremacy. I wouldn't go to any of the modes where BB-8 would be seen, like Galactic Assault or any sort of Supremacy in the Resistance era. It just wasn't ever appealing to me. So I never played him, but then as the years went by, I thought, you know what? He actually looks like a fun hero to play. I do have to go against BB-8 in HVV, on occasion. It's not very common that he's in HVV, but there are people that will play BB-8, and I was thinking, man, that cable spin does a ton of damage. I wonder how that would do in a match of Galactic Assault. So I tried it, and I was immediately like dumbfounded. Like, how have I never played this hero before? It's actually so much fun, and BB-8 became almost one of my favorite heroes in the entire game. So he goes in S tier. It's pretty much he's the undisputed champion, pretty much, right? He's effective. He's resourceful. He's great. Like, he's got fantastic health regeneration. He's got great damage output with the cable spin, with the slam charge he does, and with the scanner ability. It's just it's every possible ability you could want into one. So he goes in S tier. Next, we have BB-9, and I think BB-9's solid, but I would probably put him at B, maybe C, because he's effective, but he's not nearly as good as his counterpart BB-8. I say counterpart, but his arch nemesis, really. So I'm going to put him in C. He does have a couple good things going for him, like the charge up ability is really useful, as well as the Bacta. The Bacta is fantastic, but I just don't think, compared to these other heroes, he's just not all that. He is what you would need in a supremacy fight and everything like that. He can be effective in HVV, and he's definitely effective in Galactic Assault, 100%. But it's kind of hard to get kills with him, at least in my opinion, because when you do the spin, right, you usually launch people away, right? And when you launch people away, they're stunned and they can actually, they can run from that. BB-8's cable spin is superior because they're stuck there. Like, you can dodge and roll out of it, but they don't get too far away. Whereas BB-9's ability just launches everyone, and then it's hard to get, it's hard to go after kills. Like, if you shock an aerial trooper, they're just going to fly away, right? Now they know where you are, so it's not he's not the best hero. He's still good though. He's still, don't get me wrong, all these heroes, all of them are really good. And this tier list is like, D is realistically like better than D tier is realistically like B tier, and then if you think about it, right, every single hero is B tier and up because they're heroes, right? They've got better abilities, more health, all that. So I'm putting BB9 in C. All right, next we have the GOAT, Anakin Skywalker. I would say Anakin is probably A or S, mostly because he's got 4 abilities, right? 4 abilities, potentially 900. That's right, 900 health, right? That's more than any of these other heroes besides Vader. And it's just, I guess Phasma. And I don't know about Yoda. I think Yoda can go to 850 max. Maybe 900, but that's with the boost. Anakin starts at 900, So he's got a broken amount of health. He had to be nerfed like 4 or 5 times or something ridiculous like that, maybe even more when he first got released, but I didn't play him then, so I wouldn't know. But basically, fighting against his current self is pretty insane as well. He's got 3 really powerful abilities, the Slam, the Pull, and the Passionate Strike, so I would say that he deserves an S tier ranking because he's great in every mode. You see anywhere you go in Battlefront, you'll see an Anakin, right? You go to Supremacy, you go to HVV, you go to Hero Showdown, you go to Galactic Assault, you go to literally, you probably go to, well, not Ewok Hunt, but you go to co-op and people are playing Anakin, right? He's everywhere in the game. He is the main character. They made him with main character energy, so he gets an S tier ranking from me. Boba. Personally, I'm very bad at playing Boba. I have not gotten down his dodge in midair, tactics yet, because it's really hard for me to aim while I'm trying to dodge, right, from blaster fire in midair. But man, when you go against a really good Boba player, you just kind of see how good Boba can be. He only has 600 health, right? His health regeneration's like, it feels like it's only 50. Like, he can only get 50 health, above what he was last damaged towards, right? That's understandable because the people who do play Boba very well, they pretty much don't die, right? He's so quick with his jetpack and with his dodges, with his abilities. The concussion grenade is annoying, right? The jetpack is annoying, flying all over the place. He's pretty much a first order aerial, but a little bit less broken, if that makes any sense. Yes, the first order aerials don't have as much health as Boba, but wait, what am I talking about? The Boba's way more broken than the first order aerials. It's just the aerials, they don't really run out of jetpack fuel too often, but Boba does. Boba definitely has a limit on that jetpack, but if you're able to exploit it and know exactly when to fly around the map and you've mastered it, then Boba will definitely go in an S tier, I would say. Because fighting against max level Boba players it's like trying to rip your own teeth out. Well, while you're dodging as best you can all of Boba's rockets. So he gets an S tier ranking from me. And then I forgot to add, once I rank all of them, I'm going to drag them, of course, into their respective spots of where I think who outranks who. So next we got Bosk. Now, Bosk is a fantastic hero, and his star cards really make him more powerful, right? It does for every hero, right? But Bosk has a couple of modifiers in particular that make him one of the most broken heroes in Supremacy, in HVV, in Galactic Assault, any of the big modes, right? Bosk is utilized the most as a villain, right? And because of that, people are able to do. There's another exploit that they can do with Bosk. Basically, they make him when you like toggle his middle ability. I still don't know how to do this to this day, and I'm actually glad. You can actually run really fast, right? With the middle ability, it makes him run faster. But when you toggle it off, some people have found a glitch that is able to make him continuously run really quickly. And yes, that adds to his, you know, his like evade power, I guess, because Bosk has damage reduction when he rolls, but then he also can run away super quickly. So he becomes a little pest when you're on ship phase or on any sort of defense in the game, right? Bosk is your go-to character. His sniper is broken. His 3 abilities are broken with a Dioxys. There's no way to block Dioxys, by the way. That's one of the only like unblockable things there are in this game is Bosk's Dioxys, and it actually can hinder any team, any HVV, and I didn't even mention the proximity mines. Like that's another broken aspect. And he can see in infrared. Like I don't think he needs all these crazy abilities because that is pretty amazing. So Bosk, you get an S tier ranking from me. Next is Chewbacca. Chewbacca is fantastic all around. I think he's probably one of the best heroes in the entire game. It's a little tough to learn Chewbacca because he's a little finicky at first, right? You don't always get the abilities timed right. You miss your shock. You don't do the slam correctly because you ran out of time, or you did it too fast because you think it's a normal Wookiee. So there's a bit of a learning curve to Chewbacca, but his bowcaster is nasty. That thing does heavy damage, and it's got some splash to it, so you can't block and dodge every single hit from Chewbacca. He's actually able to knock Boba Fett out of the air, something I learned fairly recently, with any shot. So that's by far probably the best hero all around. It can be used in HVV. He can be used in Supremacy. Any of the big modes, like he's your go-to hero when you're in need of a strong support. And he's got 34. He's got a 1-star card that gives him 34% damage reduction. That is insane. 34% damage reduction, and then he's got a like 900 health boost. Like if you pair those together, he's pretty much unstoppable. I mean, you'd have to be really stupid. Me, you'd have to be really stupid to get to die as Chewbacca with that amount of damage reduction, right? You have to get into really stupid situations and basically not have a way out, right? So Chewbacca going in the S tier. I think he's better than Bosk, and I think he's better than Boba, in my opinion. So we'll put him right there for right now. But, we'll move them all again once I get a finalized ranking. Next, we have Maul. So, the thing about Maul is he's really... He's squishy, right? He's very good if you're fast. If you're fast with your saber, fast with your sword fights, or your lightsaber fights, right? Your duels. He can be really effective, but he also can take a huge amount of damage, and he doesn't have the greatest health regeneration. So if you're doing that and you're playing Supremacy, there's not a whole lot of Darth Maul players out there because he does get shelled instantly. There's a card that gives him some damage reduction against blasters specifically, but it just doesn't do enough. I would say in terms of these other heroes, Maul's probably probably the lowest ranking so far. He's just easy to spot. He's got the double-sided lightsaber. Yes, you can be really effective with Maul. I've gone against some fantastic Maul players, but when it comes to really competitive play, he's not your go-to, right? Galactic Assault, he's probably not your go-to. He don't get me wrong, he's got the choke ability that's really awesome. The saber spin, the saber throw, I guess, and the spins and the throws, right? But there's other heroes that just can outclass him, right? So I would put Maul at D, probably the lowest tier. He might move up, but we're going to keep him there for now. Ooh, Vader. I don't think there's any other hero that could top Vader. And if you're a good player, like even me as a horrible hero player, well, Saber champ, I would say, I was able to play Darth Vader on Tatooine, and I got like a 50-something player kill streak. It was insane, and it was on Supremacy. And I wasn't even close to dying. Of course, I got myself in a situation where I was like, oh, I can kill this guy, and I had probably like 600 health, and then I tried to jump over a wall, and I couldn't. I got shelled. But the point is, Vader's super easy to play, really easy to learn, loved by everybody, and he is super annoying to have to face. Like, if you're facing a Vader as a hero or a base class or a reinforcement, like, just accept that you're probably gonna die. So Vader goes in S tier. His abilities are insanely overpowered, and that's why Maul is in D tier, because he doesn't have this. I mean, Vader's got a saber throw, so does Maul, but Vader's is better. Vader's got the better choke, and Vader's got the boosted health. I think if Maul and Vader's abilities were to switch, Maul would be definitely higher, because Maul would have more health, right? So that's my own opinion, though. All right, next we have Count Dooku. This is a little bit tough for me to decide where Dooku places, but judging from how he interacts with troops and with other villains, he's got some potential to be higher on this list. And I would tentatively put him at C. I think his dueling power is able to bring him up a little bit higher to B, honestly, but he's incredibly hard to play in the larger scale modes. And if you can master a Dooku on a larger scale mode, then man, you've got some A aura, and B, you need to go outside, because that means that you spend a long time perfecting exactly how Dooku moves around the map, exactly when to take fights, when not to take fights, and that's all Dooku really is. Like, if you can force 1v1s against people, you're going to play really well, but Dooku just he's not very effective at crowd control, right? All these heroes up here good at crowd control, but Dooku just can't be there. Maul just can't be there, right? BB9E still, he's good at crowd control, but he's not like where the other one should be. So Dooku kind of falls into this middle ground, right, where he's good, but he's not good enough to be, with the big dogs. So he gets a standard B tier. Next we have Palpatine. I think Palpatine is very effective, very useful. He's seen in every single mode, right? People will be playing Palpatine. I don't think he's as good as people think he is, right? He doesn't have a whole lot of health regen. He's got 3 abilities, they all involve lightning, but he's got no block, right? And some people really get angered by the fact that he has no block, and so they immediately say, oh yeah, Palpatine trash. But he's got it where it counts. He can do the crowd control. He can definitely, hold his own against a lot of troops, but when it comes to 1v1s with other heroes, man, like, you're getting destroyed. Even if you are a really good Palpatine player, like, these guys are just going to torch you. That being said, I have gone against some Palpatines that just evade. Like, they're spamming the hell out of the button like the key's broken. And they're super effective in HVV. I don't see a lot of Palpatines around, and if I saw more, and if I saw people playing him, in these larger scale modes, and felt more confident, then I'd probably place him higher. I just haven't seen that. I just haven't seen his effectiveness, right? I've definitely played him. I know how all these abilities work. I've tried him in co-op and all that, but I think he's going to be B overall, and I think that's a fair place to put him. Not too high, but also not too low where we're disrespecting his abilities. So Palpatine gets a solid B placement for me. Next we have Finn, and I got to be careful about how I rank Finn, because the Finn glitch kind of comes into play here. Now, I don't know how to do the Finn glitch, and I don't want to bother to learn. Like with any of these heroes, I don't want to glitch them. I want to play them how they're supposed to be played, right? And glitching them is not how that was intended. So Finn without the Finn glitch is probably about right here. He's effective, or maybe even C. He's definitely effective. You got the boost for the whole team, right? You've got your two different blasters, but you know you're not going to be playing him in. Well, I guess you could play him in most modes, right? He's very versatile. He's good at the crowd control stuff. He's good at staying alive, right? He's got a really heavy blaster. The A280 is nasty. No, actually, he's got the El Jefe. That's right. The El Jefe with Finn is a pretty nasty combo. He's got good health regeneration, right? So I would say he's probably in the B tier. He's probably lower B tier. Not not lacking in his abilities, but also not superior, better than everyone else. Next we have Grievous. Grievous is probably our first A. Yes, we've gone this whole tier list without saying there's an A yet. So Grievous is going to go in A. He's got great, damage reduction when the Claw Rush. He's got some other good star cards that are able to keep him alive. There's a lot of swappable stuff, which you don't see with every hero, right? Swappable star cards. So Grievous definitely takes the A tier, I would say. If it was S, if Grievous was an S, I think he'd have a little bit more stamina, but then he'd be broken, right? So Grievous having the stamina that he does actually balances his character out. I think the lightsaber rush could be a little bit different. If they worked around I think it's Unrelenting Advance, not the rush. Unrelenting Advance I think is the where he's spinning all his lightsabers. I think that could be reworked a little bit if I were to do anything, but that's the only thing really keeping him from S is his stamina and his abilities, because his abilities can be a little glitchy sometimes, and that's totally fine. But people use the hell out of the Claw Rush and they take advantage of it because you can hit people on the way up when you finish the Claw Rush. So they really like that. I really like that. Grievous is great at crowd control, great at duels too. If you know how to use him, he's got great health regeneration. So I would say he's an A tier hero, top of A. He might even be bottom S, but let's see where the other heroes fall into place so far. Okay, next we got Han Solo. Han is another fantastic hero that you see. I would say that he's definitely an A tier. He can completely turn around heroes versus villains matches, but he's not super effective when it comes to the larger modes. He can still be great, but he's kind of like the Count Dooku case, where unless you force 1v1s, then you're going to be in trouble with Han. And I think that when you get in trouble with Han, then you don't have as much health regeneration. You end up dying a little bit quicker. So Han is definitely going to go in the A tier. One of my favorites. He's one of the few heroes with Dooku that's got the triple roll ability. So I would say that is in itself is an amazing attribute towards this character. So he will go in A. Still fantastic, just not quite an S tier. Alright, next we have Iden Versio. Now, this is considered the most toxic hero in the entire game. Anytime you go in against an Iden player in Supremacy or, more HVV than the other two, like super modes. Well, the only two modes that really have are Galactic Assault and Supremacy, right? You're going to say, oh my god, you're playing Iden? That's so toxic. You need to get alive. Go touch grass. Go outside. Don't play that. He's a blaster hero, right? It's because of the alt fire. Iden's character becomes so toxic because she's got the alt fire and that stupid little Crody stun droid. If it wasn't for those things, Iden's character would be down here, right? But because those shocks and the bubble shields and the alt fire, Iden just has a ton of answers, and they really made her character kind of busted, I think. The alt fire should not do as much damage as it does, in my opinion. It is like a miniature. It is like a barrage. Like it's like shooting a heavy barrage every few seconds, and that in itself is just it's ridiculous to think about. So The only thing I think would make Aiden more broken is if like her sniper was a little bit easier to use, because I think people don't utilize the sniper enough in matches, right? They're only focused on using her TL50, which it is a broken gun, but the amount of times like I see people using the middle ability for Aiden to snipe people is very, very low. And quite frankly, it's a confusing sniper to learn. I've tried it a few times. I'm not really a fan of how it works, like the loading, how the blaster charges up. But that's my only complaint towards Aiden. She's a super effective hero. I just I think she's super toxic, super annoying, but she also when you're playing Aiden, it is really fun. It's like it's kind of almost like you're playing, what is it, like a survival game, and you're just trying to do everything you can possibly to stay alive to get you like a new high score, right? Like when you're playing Aiden, it's like you spawn in and you immediately feel like you're already on a kill streak. Um, it's all about trying to stay alive. You're hypersensitive to all the sounds around you. Like you feel like you're the best player ever, and I think that's pretty respectable because there's not a whole lot of heroes that really make you feel that, and it does with Aiden because she is a fun hero to play. So I think she goes in A tier. Next we have Mr. Kylo. Kylo's really good, but he does have his limitations, but he is a fun hero to play. The lightsaber spasm that he's got, I'm blanking on the name. Oh yeah, Frenzy. The Frenzy ability is pretty awesome. He's got freeze and he's got the pull. Those are super fun to use in HVV. He's a good duelist. He's a good crowd controller, right? He's able to have a lot of. I think his health regeneration is fairly good to my knowledge. I haven't really used him in Supremacy because I can't stay alive as Kylo for too long. But because of that, I would say he probably goes in A. I think he's an A tier hero, honestly. He's good, and he's got it where it counts, basically, right? Um, but he might move later when I if I can think about some other things about his character that are weird. But he's one of those ones that can do the he it's pretty crazy. He can jump while he can use his pull, which not very many characters can jump while using an ability, right? Um, I mean, a lot of them can, but his is just notorious for like him jumping up really high in the air and then using the pole, right? Because people don't expect it, right? They're shooting at him at the ground, and then suddenly he's in the air, and then he just does like a wizard like summon, and then suddenly everybody's dead. So Kylo, with the right combo moves, he can just be disgusting, and stay alive for a long time when he's played by the right person. Next we have Lando. I think Lando's a D, honestly. He's he's got some funky abilities, honestly. He's got the sharp shot, which is nice. It's pretty much undodgeable, but um, the scan and the shock trap and the gas or the smoke grenade, just they're not the best, right? The shock trap is good. You do get a ton of damage off of that. That's what people usually rely on because they're trying to play like cheap heroes, like Aiden that get the shock. But if we're comparing both abilities, like Aiden's abilities far outmaster Lando's, and Lando has like a you know really slow dodge, but it's not like the triple dodge from Han Solo. So I think if Lando was maybe reworked with a couple of these things that these heroes have up here in A tier, he would definitely be follow along with them. But seeing as that you can only see through the smoke, when you're ADSing, is definitely kind of to your disadvantage because sometimes you really need to not look down scopes, right? So he's gonna go in the D category, probably the worst hero on this list. But that's also really saying a lot because you remember, like I said, D tier is really like B tier because all these heroes are fantastic and they're really fun to play. But out of the other heroes, I think that he's just bottom fragging. So he's going to get the lowest rank. I think that his character is still fun to play, but just not as good as the others. Next is a Leia. Leia is definitely here. Probably top of A. Do I want to put Leia S? I do, actually. I think Leia's an S tier hero, and hear me out why. She's got the alt fire, right? Aiden's got an alt fire, but she's got grenades, right? She's got the E11, which lasts a long time. Think about how long that ability lasts. I think it's like 11 something, or maybe it's 8 to 11. I think it's 15 seconds, actually. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty. It's a long time. That's a long time to have a, broken blaster for. And then she's got the bubble shield, and those are all like really effective abilities, right? They help out in HVV. They're great in large scale mode. She can do crowd control. Her blaster does a ton of damage. Either one, the pistol as well as the E11, right? And she's very good to have as a backup hero, right? Anytime you see a Leia make a push with a bunch of other troopers, even a Saber hero, like, yeah, that's undefendable. Like, she's good by herself as well, right? She can dodge. She does a lot of damage to Vader, right? She's a very useful hero. So I think she's bottom S tier. If you use her correctly and you're able to time the rolls, the dodges, or I guess rolls are dodges, but if you're able to throw the grenades, because the other thing is, she doesn't take any damage by her grenades. Same with Han, I guess. They're the only two that throw grenades on these heroes. Yeah, so they're the only two that throw grenades, but they don't get damaged by them, which is awesome, because Leia was really effective when you have her grenades next to her. You can just throw the grenades down and just start spamming with the blaster while you're throwing grenades down, and it's over for everybody. So, and she's got the shield that heals people. Like, that is really effective. That is a big game changer. So in any sort of mode, Leia is going to be one of my definite top picks, and she's one of my personal favorites. Next we have Luke. Luke is a fantastic hero to play. I don't think he deserves a spot lower than A tier, just because of his stamina is amazing. His abilities are really fun, really easy to learn, right? Really easy to master. But I can't judge it off of how easy it is to play. I gotta judge it off of how effective he is, right? So Luke is very effective in all sort of modes. I think that he's probably honestly the top of. I might come back to these guys, but he's not quite an. I don't think he's quite an S, but he's definitely top of A for sure. The only thing I think that struggles with Luke is when you're doing his spin attacks, right? He gets 2 or 3 of them, depending on what star cards you have. But when you do the dash with Luke, he can still get hit pretty badly with some saber strikes. You do get some damage reduction on it, but it's not like a it's not like a Maul spin, where Maul spins is even faster and he doesn't always take a ton of damage, right? That's something that Maul has. It's a little bit better than Luke, but Maul still takes a heap of damage from it, right? And it's not like you gain a ton of damage reduction when you do those, like with Grievous's Claw Rush. So Grievous probably outranches Luke in that regard, but then again, Luke is great in HVV. He's a great duelist. He's good with against other just troopers in general. Good blocking, so he's got it up there. Next is Obi-Wan. Now, Obi-Wan is one of the better duelists that you can choose, and I think he's definitely an A. I think he's right here, though. Obi-Wan's fast. He's got good abilities, the mind trick, and he has, I think, the most stamina out of any other hero in the entire game. So he's got a lot going for him. But when it comes to, doing a lot of crowd control, he can. Don't get me wrong. It's tough for me, at least. But seeing an Obi-Wan player in comp, an Anakin duo, and just Obi-Wan by himself, he's really good. It is hard to finish kills with Obi-Wan, though, because you swing at the lightsaber. His swing is a little bit more, slow. It's more thought out. It's more methodical, right? And sometimes people who are new and even experienced players, they'll take a lot of unnecessary damage just trying to get a kill with Obi-Wan. Like Obi-Wan will do the like the quick strike attack where he runs around and this does the automatic saber blaster dodging, right? And he'll get some of the base classes will die immediately, but then like the other reinforcements, they'll just hammer down his health, and then when you exit out of the ability, he'll try to keep swinging, take down his opponents, but it's really hard because if you're taking down like B2s or commando droids where they're also slashing at him, like it's not a great it's not a great it's not a great situation to be in because Obi-Wan will lose a lot. He'll still probably get the kill, but he'll lose a lot of health. That being said, he also has one of the most health regenerations in the game, so he is overall a fantastic hero. Little tougher to learn, but if you're able to stay alive with Obi-Wan, then you're doing something right. So he's going in solid A tier for me. Next is Phasma. Phasma. Phasma's alright. I would say that she's C tier and kind of like not a whole lot better. She's just easy to spot on the map, She's covered in chrome. You really have to play Phasma around your corners better because of that stun droid. And you pretty much have to have the stun droid everywhere you go. That's where I think Aiden's better, is because Aiden can carry the stun droid, right? And Phasma just has the turret. It's the droid turret, basically, is what it is, right? She does have a staff, which actually should bump her a little bit higher, so maybe she's top of C tier. But other than that, besides the health boost, you know what? She actually does have a lot going for her. I hate Phasma's character in the movies, man. It's just terrible. But I think Phasma's definitely she's all right. She's not lacking, but she's in our mid tier hero range. She can be good in certain circumstances, right? HVV is probably the only time where she's really utilized, right? And anytime you have like a Aiden Phasma duo, it's probably game over. And like in your like Jabba's palace or something, somewhere where you're in close quarters, and you can get a lot of value based off of her playstyle. So Phasma's good when there's not a lot of open areas. She's very good in close quarters combat. Good blaster, right? So she's going in B tier. Alright, now is going to be Rey. Rey is pretty good. I think she's a good duelist. I've played her a few times. I've gone against really good people who've played Rey, and I think they can be really good. I don't think that she's the best, though. I don't think she's A tier material or S. I think she's just solid B. She might even be the top of B based on her use, I guess, factor in these games. So I really only see her in like Galactic Assault. I won't see a ton of Rey in Supremacies. Supremacies, that's not even a word. In Supremacy matches. And it's more like there's other heroes that you could pick in Galactic Assault, and Rey's good. Rey's a saber hero, but you do have better options. You do have all of these options in Galactic Assault, right? When it comes to Supremacy, Rey's probably your go-to saber hero, right? But because she's the only really saber hero, I think so she is. Yeah, because it's Rey versus Kylo. Because okay, so you will see Rey a fair amount in Supremacy, but HVV she can be good, which is why I didn't put her in C tier, because her HVV skill is pretty amazing too. She can make people walk backwards, right? She's got the mind trick ability, and then what's the other one? Oh, I'm trying to think of what it is. There's one that inverts your controls. Oh, yeah, I think her middle ability actually doubles the stamina for a short period, and that's pretty awesome. So this is tough because I think Rey could be bottom A tier. Honestly, she's good enough to keep herself alive. She's got really good health regeneration. Her abilities are a little goofy, I will be honest, but she is very effective when it boils down to it. She is a really well-rounded character in the game. So she gets an A tier placement. Bottom A, though. Next, we have Yoda. Yoda's alright. Could be better. I don't think I'm going to give it a, Yoda D tier, because Yoda does have the, all the health boosts that you can give in Supremacy, but he's really only good in Supremacy and I guess Galactic Assault, right? Because you can get the kill streaks with Yoda. He's really effective there, staying alive. So, but when it comes to HVV and dueling, he's not it. It's hard to play Yoda and be good in the duel situation, right? Even the best Yoda player, it's tough for a Yoda to take duels and stay in the duel, right? Because even Maul's better at dueling than Yoda, right? Yoda just doesn't do well against other duelists, especially Dooku, right? It's not lore accurate. He does have good blaster absorption for one of his abilities, and he's got fantastic stamina too. So he's got those things going for him. So I think Yoda's not a C tier. I think he's B tier. I think he's probably like right here. Maybe here. That sounds fair. Dooku better than Yoda might be a little crazy, but now we're at the point where we can review exactly why and where we've ranked everybody. So let's take a look at the final, well, almost final list. D tier, Maul better than Lando. I will accept that. C tier, Ball Droid, totally fine. B tier, we got let me think. Yeah, I think it's fine. Honestly, I don't think there's really any other way you can move those around. Now let's take a look at A tier. Ooh, I'm gonna move Obi-Wan down a few. I'm gonna move Rey up one. I think Rey's slightly better than Kylo, just in terms of more usefulness. Rey definitely has some better attributes than Kylo. Kylo's still good, but I think Kylo's bottom A. Kylo and Dooku, in the next tier right here. I still think that Kylo takes the cake. Kylo's just got more going on than the Dooku, and I think Han actually might go bottom A. You know what? I'm probably crazy for saying this, but these are all really good crowd control heroes, and Han's just not a good crowd control hero. Like he's gotta be stepped down a peg. I think people give him a little too much credit in HVV. He's very effective there, but I don't think that he fits with our A tier heroes, considering that we're all judging them based off of their use in HVV, all and well rounded, I guess. So we're putting Han in B tier, and I think that's very fair. But he's still got the triple dodge, still is really effective, he's got great abilities, so he'll stay there. I'm pretty sure everything else is solid, though. This is tough, because there's not a whole lot of situations where you wouldn't want to use Grievous, where Grievous would just be like useless, right? I can't think of any sort of time where Grievous has just been like used. Same with Luke. Like there's no time where any of these heroes in A are just useless, right? They've really got great stuff going on. And I think Obi-Wan, this hurts my soul putting Rey higher than Obi-Wan, but I think it has to be done. I think she's just better than Obi-Wan in this regard. She's still got very similar abilities to Obi-Wan. I think they're fairly similar characters in the fact that they both have mind control stuff, they both have dashes, and they both have similar like lightsaber patterns when you're swinging, right? Luke's fast, but Rey and Obi-Wan are a lot slower, so I think they're kind of two peas in a pod here. But Rey does do a little better when it comes to that overall crowd control. So that's going to be my finalized list of the A tier. Now we move to S tier, and this is tough. This is really tough. I think Leia's still bottom of S tier. She's better than A, but she's. Does she go in S tier though? Does Leia even go in the S tier? I mean, look at all these. Like all these heroes are just so good, right? And then Leia's just. Leia can be good, but you have to like really know exactly what you're doing, right? Um, I'm personally biased because I'm a good Leia player, and I've seen good Leia players, but you know what? I think I'm gonna have to drop Leia down to A. She's top of A, but she's not quite S. I can't compare her to these other 6 heroes at the top. She's just not exactly there. But you know what's interesting? I've got 3 light side heroes and I got 3 villains, right? That's really cool. That it just shows that there is some semblance of balance in this game. I got 1, 2, 3, but I got 1. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so it's kind of balanced in a way, but let's focus on this last part with 3 villains and 3 heroes. Who will take the cake? I already tell you right now, Vader's spot is not going to change at top of S. That's just not going to happen. The only thing I think could probably maybe be moved around is Bosk. Yeah, Bosk. I think kind of. I would like to say Bosk outclasses Boba, but outclasses I'm using very loosely here because both villains are incredible in their own respects, right? Bosk is the best ground blaster hero, and then Boba's the best air, right? They're literally a match made in heaven for each other. If you're playing both of them in like a supremacy match or HVV, anything like that, they're two awesome heroes, right? But I do think Bosk has more leverage. He's got more power, right, when it comes to supremacy, and I think Bosk honestly moves up to tier the number 4 on the list overall. Chewbacca's effective, but not like Bosk. Bosk can change a game based on who's playing it, how they stay alive, and everything, right? So I honestly, you can't rank Bosk any lower than S. And Chewbacca, he's fantastic, but I think Bosk just takes the cake in this regard. Anakin is still amazingly overpowered. I don't think that there's a way Bosk surpasses Anakin in any regard because Anakin's got he's got the duelist, right? That's the other thing. Bosk and Boba really can't Boba is a better duelist, right? Boba's a way better duelist, but Bosk, he's got the mines. He's got just heavy damage output. You can jump high in the air with him, shoot micro grenades, right? It's just Bosk has got everything, man. He's got all the tools at his disposal. He's that hero, right? He's that guy. He's that lizard. Then let's go with our top 3. Our finalized top 3 heroes. Anakin, BB-8, Vader. Now, I want to think about this for a little bit. Everything these heroes can do. And I think Anakin goes into the number 2 spot. I'm pretty sure that's very fair. BB-8's good. He's good at everything. It's just Anakin's got more versatility. He's got more going for him. He's going to be the number 2 hero overall. Not too much more to say about these 3. I think Vader's just far superior in every regard, right? He's every hero if you gave him steroids, right? Well, every Saber hero if you give him steroids. Like it's like if you played Rey with 1,000 HP, right? she just become immediately the most used hero, right? Vader's already that. Like, same with Luke. If Luke had 1,000 HP or a 900, right? He'd be like, oh yeah, no one can beat Luke. He's too powerful, right? That's how Vader is. Vader's been banned in multiple um, like events and stuff. Like, he's been banned in Galactic Assault. He's banned in every single HVV thing ever because he's just so overpowered. Well, sometimes Vader gets banned star cards. The star cards with Vader are so insanely, broken. They just add that much more power to Vader. That the community had to do something. If EA wouldn't nerf Vader, then the community had to nerf him. So he's definitely our best hero overall. And this is my final version of this chart. I think this is probably an easier tier list. It took 50 minutes of yapping, but that's my answer. These are my final picks. So say what you will. I think there could definitely be a revamp of this. Maybe like an A plus tier, an S minus tier, right? Because I pretty much split the list again. We got S plus right here, these top three, S minus, A plus, and then A minus from Iden. No, actually, A minus from Ray down, and then B plus would be Dooku, Yoda, Han, and then B minus would be Palp, Finn, Phasma, right? And then C would be Mr. Ball, and then D would be these two guys. So that's my finalized list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you agree, disagree, have any other quarrels with me, I'd be happy to talk to you about any of these things that you might have issues with, or actually you might have an opinion where you agree with me on this. And everyone's opinion is different, which is why I like doing these tier lists. I like hearing back from what other people think. I like hearing my craziness for what my own thoughts are, and just overall an open discussion about it is what I'm looking for. Why each hero is good, why they're bad, why they're better than other heroes. But this is my finalized ranked list. So hope you all enjoyed. Please make sure to share it, let other people know what my crazy tier list is like, and I will see you guys later. Bye bye.